Welcome back. I'm playing Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector, and today I'm going to go over the new unit that was just released here, the Deffkilla Wartrike here. This was supposed to be the final boss in the Deeds of the Fallen campaign. I figured they were going to release this unit since they went through the effort to create the model, but now this all makes me highly suspicious that they just didn't release it on the original campaign because they probably just didn't have it completed, and that might be why the story was so nonsensical at times and kind of rushed towards the end. So kind of leaves me a little bit frustrated in that aspect, but overall it wasn't terribly bad DLC, but it does make me highly suspicious that that might have been the situation here. But it is another Ork commander here. He's pretty expensive at 225 points. You know, your war boss, which is your main melee buff combatant guy, is, 205. Your weird boy, who is your buffer, is going to be 125. And then your mech, who is your defensive guy, giving people a custom force field and then repairing your vehicles, is 165. So comparatively, he's quite expensive for a hero. But he does do quite a bit of things for you here. Saying that, though, I don't know if he really is going to fit like a specific niche that the Orks had to have. So I can see him having some uses, but I don't know. He's just kind of a novelty, I guess is how I would place it, or say it. But first, if you're enjoying these videos, please give my channel a like and subscribe. Encourage me to post more content for you. So the Deffkilla Wartrike is worth 225 points of requisition. For that, you get a model that has 275 points. Because it's an HQ unit, it has 2 action points. It has 5 movement, 6 armor, and 30 evasion to begin with. So effectively, this is a hero that's on a war bike, like your other bikers here. And so maybe he can ride with them to help improve things. But he has access to 3 different weapons. You don't have to pay extra for any of them. You just have them. Problem is, none of them are like amazing. The boomsticks, which are his little shotguns on the sides here, they seem like they should be very powerful with 4 attacks, having a base damage of 26 to 35 for whichever unit that it hits, and then with a splash damage of 15 to 21, going to 4 units when it does hit, with an armor piercing of 3. It has an optimal range of 2, but can shoot at anywhere between ranges 1 and 4. The problem is the base accuracy is only 75. So, and I find that when I've been shooting guys, even like Gretchen, and playing around with this guy, he'll always just about miss 1 attack, as you would expect with the 75% base accuracy. But other times it seems like it's only landing like 2 attacks, and then he tends to overkill whatever unit he's hitting with his base damage, and then the splash damage may or may not go off. So I don't know if it's just kind of buggy, or I've just had incredibly poor damage rolls when I've been playing around with this guy, but I've been very, very underwhelmed with this weapon here. What he does have that's pretty good is he's now like a highly mobile melee combatant, because he does have this Snega Claw, which has 1 attack. It does a base damage of 82 to 110. It has a splash damage of 57 to 77 times 1, so effectively it's a very powerful power claw. It has an armor piercing of 7 and a base accuracy of 85. Saying that, I've had him rear attack guys and he'll miss those attacks occasionally, so that definitely feels bad. But this will allow you to take out vehicles and also really harass heavy, medium and heavy infantry as well. And then he also has a very good flamer. The problem with the flamer, as you can see here, is it has two turn cooldown. So the rest of these attacks you can use as many times as you want, as long as you have action points for them. But with the Killajet here, it's going to have a 2-turn cooldown. Effectively, it's a heavy flamer, so you have 12 attacks, base damage of 5 to 7, armor piercing of 2. It has a range of 1 to 2 with a 2-turn cooldown. So you can't do double flame attacks, because effectively it just supercharges his engine here and burns your enemy units here. Now, he does have access to a couple of abilities which are kind of fun. One is the speed boss, and this is where he might be kind of a nice little gimmick guy, where he could potentially be useful. It'll apply bonuses both to vehicles and to infantry, and then depending on which, it'll vary. So if you're a vehicle, you'll get faster than use, which will give the vehicles around him and the HQ unit himself, because he'll put this buff on himself as well. But it only lasts for 1 turn. But it'll give you +1 movement, +20 momentum for that vehicle, at the cost of giving everybody a minus 10% ranged accuracy. So as you can imagine, if you're going to be then attacking with the boomsticks after that, he's going to just be absolutely abysmal, because he's going to drop down to like 65% accuracy, and then that's not even to take into account armors and evasions, so that's why he really drops off pretty substantially there. If you're applying it to non-vehicles, i.e. your infantry, you'll get +1 movement at the cost of 10% ranged accuracy. So that could actually be nice to help you get your knobs or your rocket boys, you know, your burner boys now have an extra movement. It could definitely be very helpful, but then that penalty to the accuracy is where it's going to be a bit of an issue. So obviously it doesn't matter as much for your burner boys if they have an accuracy penalty. Your melee guys, it doesn't matter because they're going to be chopping guys. But while it could be nice to give the flash kits some extra movement, so then you can then sacrifice their movement for an additional attack if you're dropping their accuracy by 10%, you know, it's going to be a horse apiece there. But the nice thing for it is because it's going to give 20 momentum. If you have a couple of Def Dreads nearby that are like 20 points away from surging, then you could just do that, give them additional movement, and then if they get empowered, or if they do get the full momentum to be able to surge, then they should have an additional movement because they reached 100 momentum, so I can give them +2. And if you have multiple Def Dreads together, you know, if they're synergizing with the Dread Mob, then they're already getting movement there as well. So I think this is really going to buff up these Def Dreads pretty substantially, and then also really improve the mobility of your Warbiker. So it's going to just cause these guys to just fly across the screen is what I think is going to happen on the map here. Now, the one thing to be aware of, though, is it does have a charge time. And what that means is it'll take, you won't be able to use it on turn 1, unlike, say, the move with the Castellan, which is the Imperial Guard leader that has some increased movement, and then it has a 3-turn cooldown. So, like I said, I think it's got a very situational setup here, but kind of fun. And then he also, because he is a melee vehicle, he does have a charge ability. So he's got the super fuel charge, which allows you to charge through multiple units, dealing 30 to 40 with an armor piercing of 7 to both allies and enemies, and then it deals 45 to 60 with an armor piercing of 45 to the target that it hits. So this will allow him to do good damage to both pretty much anything that's in front of him. Now obviously you won't be able to charge through a vehicle, but the hope is that you could charge through and then use your power claw or set up your kilojet to really attack some guys, and then hopefully he'll be able to tank some hits. But you know, he doesn't have a ton of health even at armor of 6 here, so that could potentially cause him to get taken out pretty easily, especially if you're fighting guys that have really powerful melee attacks, or if there's just a bunch of crack grenades. So again, I think he's going to be a little bit difficult to use, but could definitely be very fun. You know, increasing the mobility of your Deffcopters to help you run around and get your bombing attacks going, or to just capturing points. I think that's going to really be the novelty situation for this guy here. Is I think it's all going to be about increasing mobility. So what I'm going to try to do is I'll bring out 2 of them here so we can try to get them empowered, see how they feel. I'll bring out 2 weird boys, that way we can increase his damage and also give him a damage reduction. Perhaps, I was going to say perhaps we could bring out the war boss, because I would assume the boss is watching might get applied to this guy, but I think what's going to happen is with this guy is all this mobility, he's going to be so far away from the war boss, it'll be hard to get that stack up. Likewise, I think it would be hard for the big mech. Yes, he could probably heal this guy a little bit, which would be nice, and give him some armor and things, but I think for the most part these guys are going to just be running around. It's going to be hard to do your little death mob here. So what I'll do instead is I'll bring out some knobs here to see if we can kind of increase their mobility. I'll bring a couple of Def Dreads and some Burner Boys just to see how they feel when they're getting buffed up by the guys here. And then we'll bring out some War Bikes and a Gretchen. So just kind of have a high mobility force just to see how it feels to bring these guys out and play around with them a little bit. And per our standard here, we'll just set up the Imperial Ruins. We'll set it up for an Exterminatus. Unlimited turns, 100%. Switch it to the Orks. And get our tester army if I can find it. There we go. And then why don't we just have a face-off against some orcs, and maybe the AI will bring the war boss out, or his version of this guy out, and we can see what it feels like to fight him. So let's set that up and see how it goes. Yeah, I do appreciate the free units, but I wish they would focus on getting units that really are going to be filling in gaps to the rosters of certain factions here, because it certainly doesn't feel like that's necessarily the focus right now, and that can be a little bit frustrating, because it's like, yeah, you're getting all these cool units, but I don't know if they're all really necessary. And then I always point this out on most of my matches here, is at the very start when you're deploying, these little icons here are all the units that you can select to be your HQ commander. So most people that I find that are newer are unaware that you can change that. Now, unfortunately, it only works for the first time, because once your HQ commander gets killed, it'll automatically apply the next HQ command token to whatever guy is most expensive, so therefore it'll fall onto one of our Deffkilla Wartrikes, so we won't be able to select the other weird boy once we end up losing somebody.
The old ways is best.
So I think what we'll do is just run these guys down. And then the big thing with Def Dreads is you got to be careful when you're moving them around, because if they get out of their little cohesion there, then they end up losing their movement bonus, and then it can be really easy to end up sacrificing them.
Giving us some wellies!
Accidentally sacrificing their
Go faster!
movements.
Ready to boss the boys!
Because all of a sudden, instead of having that extra movement, it'll default to using up your action point to get you to where you selected to go. So that definitely feels really bad when that happens. I kind of positioned these guys stupidly, because I was hoping to buff them up with the Wartrikes here, and then I have everybody far away from them.
I can feel a scrap coming.
But here, what I'll do is move these guys up this way, because it's only a square one, right? Yeah, it is. Well, let's just buff the war bikes, I guess, first. Now we'll apply this. And we can now move these guys up, because now it's like you could see them all the way up to here. So effectively, by this second turn, you could be all the way up here to help them start attacking. Now this may be a little bit too forward, because then they should be able to shoot into the Def Dreads, but as you can see, you can get a ton of mobility here. How far can you move? Oh, you can go all the way up there with that movement bonus. Alright, well, let's move you over to here, I guess. Yeah, so you can already see them. Let's just start increasing our mobility everywhere then.
Go faster!
And then for these guys, we're probably going to need at least one movement, I would imagine, to be able to get the extra movement, but maybe we'll try it out with these orcs just to see if that's the case or not. I'd have to believe it is.
The old ways is best. Moving and leading.
Alright, let's get you up to here. And then let's apply you. Nope, it actually will apply it even if they're out of movement. So that's good for us to know. I doubt anybody else is going to get up that far, but...
Something to burn.
Whatever you want, boss.
Get these guys up to here. Maybe what I'll do is I'll move you over to here.
Yes,
And then you can apply those here. And you can apply that here. I'll pull you back one. Yeah, see, you're to 46. So I think what I'll do then is just apply you to here and there. Mr. Boomsticks can go there. I'll do something like that. So yeah, being that far forward, they can shoot into me because they can see me. Ooh, not good. My poor Death Dread's almost dead. Well, it's a good thing I used my special ability there. Otherwise, we could have gotten ourselves killed, I think. Let's see how we want to do this going forward. I guess what I can do is move you guys over to here. And we'll start bringing you guys over here to kill some knobs.
Don't they know who we are? What are we waiting for? What's not on fire?
We could flame these guys.
Getting warmer.
It doesn't seem like a terrible option. Because he's not going to do enough damage to the Death Dread to make it any issues.
To boss the boys.
I would have liked to get you up to here.
I knows you's looking at
Here's
me.
what we'll do. Let's do a little headbanger here. And let's get a little blindness there. And we'll pull you back to here.
Something to burn.
Which then means you can come up to here and finish these guys off.
Let's make them do the birdie dance.
And then we can bring up our little Gretchen to shoot these guys in the face and kill a knob. That's not very lore accurate, I would say.
Plunk it over.
Let's bring you over this way. Bring you up to here. And then you can attack here.
Right through me armor. Warbikers firing, boss. Yes.
What am I going to do with you? Because I really want you to stay alive.
It's our time.
Guess we'll move those knobs up to here.
The knobs is here.
Let's blind some guys. Nice crit.
What's not on fire? Gotta be dead tough.
Alright, well, let's see. So it's 85.
Come here so we can smack.
I guess it's not terrible. No, that's actually better than I thought it was. Alright, I gotta reconsider my thought on that boomstick a little bit, I think.
Warbikers firing, boss. Raring to go.
Alright, I'll bring you guys over there to be my Gretchen killer.
The old ways is best. Boss! 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 Boss!
I guess I just had some bad damage rolls.
Red ones, go faster!
Because yeah, before when I was playing around with them a little bit, I just could not get much for damage there.
Rats, ready to fight.
Course I knows what's what.
Alright, big things I just need to keep you safe from those frickin'
It means more fighting.
looters there.
No, Warglen, you crops. Nah, stop it. Crumple.
Alright, yep, I take it back. They're actually pretty decent, that boomstick. Yeah, I must have just had some bad damage rolls, I guess.
Ready to boss the boys.
No, the problem with that now is I can't charge.
It's our time.
Alright, let's just pull you back. Hopefully that'll keep you safe. Maybe I even pull him back one more.
I knows you's looking at me. Raring to go. We're under fire. No, not the paint job. Oh, hit me.
Yeah,
not
I've just
the
never
fire.
been impressed
Trench
with
taking a
those
pan. Trench taking a pan.
rocket launchers.
Don't they know who we are? Trench taking a pan. Trench taking a pan. Right through the armor.
Alright, well,
Gotta be dead tough.
I don't think I'm gonna get
This amount of killing.
credit for flaming my own guys, because unlike the Adeptus Sororitas, who get momentum by taking damage,
Course I knows what's what.
I wonder if at half you'll be able to... Let's see, that would be 7 per model killed. Well, let's flame here.
Flame. Oh,
Alright, so you got you to there. So I guess we can just melee that guy down. Pull you back. If I use your charge attack... Really?
boy, driver, get me closer so I can hit him with me claw.
Charge here. Okay, good. And then flame here.
Them flame.
There you go. And then if we wanted to empower your abilities, you could empower the speed boss. And what this does is it applies the faster than use to the vehicles, and so that'll give them +2 movement and +30 momentum for 1 turn. And then they'll still have that -10% accuracy penalty. And then if you apply it to infantry with the Here We Go, you'll give them +1 movement, but then they won't suffer their ranged accuracy penalty. And then it'll change the cooldown to 2 turns instead of 3. And then if you use the Super Field Charge, this allows you to increase the charge damage to 37 to 50 and your armor piercing up to 8 to both allies and enemies, and then it allows you to deal 67 to 90 damage with an armor piercing of 8 to the final target, and it drops the movement or the cooldown to 2 turns from 3 turns. So that can definitely be a nice little ability for you here. So I actually kind of like using these combos, so it seems like they're actually pretty decent at attacking with the boomsticks. You can see the melee claw can do good damage as well, and then if you have a unit that's almost dead, you know, charge in there, get the kill, and then turn around and use your flamer. And now unfortunately that flamer is now on a 2-turn cooldown, but that's not a bad little combo there to really mess up your opponents.
Something to burn.
Now the next question is,
Boss! 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 Boss!
what are we gonna do to mop up some of these guys here? So I think what I'll do is flame. And then you can do that and attack here.
Now we
And
can
this should chop
expose
these
them.
guys down. Yep, good. You're injured.
Gotta be dead tough to handle this amount of killing.
Yeah, see, this is tough because I want to get everybody up here. But we also got these guys here, which will definitely wreck our shit.
Raring to go. What's not on fire?
Ah, just barely short.
Ready to boss the boys.
I still think doing the melee is going to be the better option here.
Look, save us!
Boss, boss, boss,
Alright,
boss.
let's have you pull back.
Raring to go.
You can come... Oop, why did I do that?
Red ones, go faster.
You can come to here. There you go. You can come to there.
Red ones, go faster.
And I guess what I could probably do is maybe just even bring the Death Dreads over this way,
10 boys.
since they're both kind of injured.
Look, save us!
Clunk it over.
Look, save us!
Because now they're down.
No, not the paint job.
You can start working on these boys over here, because what we don't want is for them to use their
Red ones, go
special
faster.
ability to kill my Death Dreads.
Raring to go. Coulson knows what's
And if I move you down to there, they're just going to swarm you. Let's just pull you back, I think, is the best way to do that.
What is it? Oh, no. You's looking at me.
Maybe we just bring these guys over
It's our
here.
time. Moving and leading. Best of the best.
So hopefully we can use that to kind of aggro the AI. And that will leave them away from us. Oh, they're
Waste
scratching
too
up there
fast,
yet,
they're
huh?
hitting us. Right through the armor. Someone grab his teeth, eh?
Wow, he's got actually quite a few guys left yet. Alright, well, unfortunately, we're going to have to attack here, and you can attack here.
Look, save us!
We've got the Death Dreads over this way. Probably going to do a little bit of that.
Clunk it over. Clunk it over.
Alright. And now,
The old ways is
I would
best.
like to buff everybody's shots.
Something to burn.
Well, I think we got enough stuff over this way that we should probably just bring them over here. Okay, so I need to move you up one more. So this is nice because effectively what we're going to do is give everybody 45% extra shots. So that should substantially increase our damage output. And then we can actually buff it further
What now?
by using our Warpath ability. Like so. So now these guys can flame down the other burner boys and just about kill them. So that's quite the damage increase for them. And you can just shoot here, take those guys out. Now for you, you're going to be charging into there.
Here we go. Moving and leading.
And you can attack the side, because I'll stop him from getting counterattacks on you.
Gotta be dead tough to handle this amount of killing. No.
Bring you over here. And then you can surge. And you can attack here. And start killing these guys. Or not.
Who threw that? 10 boys. Oi, down. Nah, stop it.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. Unfortunately,
Oi, down. Oi, down.
you're now out of attacks, but we can move you up to here.
Legs in front.
And you can shoot again.
Oi, down. Oi, down.
Nice. And now for you, we can run you over to here. You can use the headbanger and get the kill there.
Weapon.
You're gonna shoot into the burner boys.
Boy, driver, get me closer so I can hit you with the claw.
Yep, I take it back. Boomsticks are good.
This is the line. You're making us mad. Shouldn't have done that. Warbike's firing, boss. Who threw that?
Alright, pop your evasion.
Boss! What's not on fire? Ready to boss the boys! Gork ain't seen anything as fast as me. It's our time!
Alright, let's start running you guys back over this way.
Faster! He's too fast, out of here! I knows. You's looking at
Alright,
me.
and your flamer should be back up again.
No, Wardling, you crop.
Ah! Look, save us!
Raring to go. Who threw that? Who threw that?
And we'll let you come over here and get the rear attack.
You're making us mad.
And that's victory. So yeah, definitely kind of an interesting unit. He's not bad. I mean, he does decent range. He does pretty good melee, and he's got an excellent flamer attack. He's got some useful abilities. He's just very expensive, so you just got to decide, do you need to have a highly mobile force? I mean, he could be nice if you're going to send like a war bike army out to capture strategic points, and then if you fight another vehicle or something that you're going to have trouble normally killing with the war bikes, you can have him get into a face-off. But I think he's going to be pretty easy to get countered and killed. I can't imagine it's going to be much harder than killing a war bike, to be honest. And then once he gets locked down into melee, you're going to be stuck using that flamer every 2 turns, which is fine because it's a good weapon. But I'm just worried with that power clock, because it only has 1 splash, that he's just going to get locked down into melee and then really have trouble getting out of there. Because at 6 armor, you're not going to want to be just driving through a bunch of zone of controls. Now, I suppose you can use your charge attack, but you're going to have to make sure that you're not charging into guys with like inferno pistols or other anti-armored weapons that are going to end up doing a lot of damage to you, because that will trigger reaction fire because it is a charge attack. So just take that into consideration. I think it could be helpful to get your melee guys into combat potentially a little bit easier by giving them +1 movement. You know, it's kind of nice to see. Now, unfortunately, when it's empowered, it only gives you +1 movement to the infantry still. Probably giving it +2 would be too good, because then you can start stacking up your charge attacks with the Orks so it can't be suppressed, and their increased melee damage, that might be a little bit too OP. The momentum for the Orks and things is very nice, but it only lasts that 1 turn, so it's like you got to set it up
in a very unique way for you to get the most bang for your buck here. But for the most part, giving yourself ranged accuracy penalties is going to be somewhat dangerous, because the Orks, how they're currently kitted out, are really meant to be a ranged attack faction. So by giving yourself those 10% penalties, that can really mess you up, especially if you have one command point set up where you want to give yourself that 45% shots. You know, missing an additional 1 out of 10 shots there can be pretty terrible. Now, if you're able to stack that up and get yourself into optimal positions, then you can obviously overwhelm that debuff where it's gonna nullify it, especially if it allows you to, say, get into optimal range and start getting attacks in. Then it may not matter as much, but it's just a very situational hero, so I could see it being challenging to use. But I hope that's helpful for you guys, and I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe to encourage me to post more content for you. Have a great day.